I'll quickly walk you through a small video of what we have done. That'll probably take 5 minutes, and I'll walk you through the background of it in another 5 minutes. That should take care of the 10 minutes. I hope there's an audio over here. There's an audio.
बाबा ने सिखाया कि अपनी हर कोशिश पर विश्वास करना सीखो और एक दिन हमारे सारे सपने सच हो जाएंगे। हमने ब्याज पे पैसे लिए, ढेर सारे बीज खरीदे और जमीन भी किराए पर ली। इस साल बहुत भारी फसल होगी और फिर हम एक नया ट्रैक्टर खरीदेंगे। हम दिन रात मेहनत करने लगे, खेतों को समय पर तैयार जो करना था। मगर एक दिन धीरे धीरे बीमारी और बढ़ने लगी। गांव के लोगों ने कहा, अब और उम्मीद नहीं। दूर शहर में डॉक्टर हैं, दवाइयां हैं, पर हमारे पास वहां जाने के लिए पैसे ही नहीं थे। मगर उस दिन कुछ ऐसा हुआ जो हमारे जीवन को हमेशा के लिए बदल देने वाला था। बाबा सच ही कहते थे, जिसके पास उम्मीद है उसके लिए कुछ भी नामुमकिन नहीं। अब किसने सोचा था कि एक पूरा का पूरा स्वास्थ्य केंद्र ही कोई गाड़ी से उठाकर ला सकता है। हमने कभी सोचा था कि दूर शहर के डॉक्टर टीवी पर हमसे बातें करेंगे। स्वास्थ्य केंद्र में हमें यह भी सिखाया गया कि किस तरह हम बीमारियों से बचकर एक स्वस्थ जीवन जी सकते हैं। थोड़े ही दिनों में बाबा की कमजोरी चली गई, वो फिर से हल चलाने लगे। हमने जल्द ही बीज बो डाले और फिर आए गरजते हुए बादल और बारिश। बह गए हमारे सारे दर्द, सारे दुख। शायद मेरे बाबा की तरह शहर में और भी लोग हैं जो दूसरों के सपनों को सच करते हैं।
This could be the beginning of an outbreak. We need to identify this to the National Institute of Communicable Diseases for further action.
जो दूर दराज में फैले समुदायों के बारे में सोचते हैं। मैं मानता हूँ वैसे ही लोगों ने स्वास्थ्य केंद्र बनाया जो कहीं भी ले जाया जा सकता है, ट्रक से, रेलगाड़ी से या समुद्र से और हवाई जहाज से भी। इंतजार में है सारी दुनिया अपने सपने लिए, अपनी उम्मीदें लिए, एक नए सवेरे के लिए।
So, a quick background of what the solution was that we had rolled out initially in Chausala, then in Lakhimpur Kheri in UP, and then in the outskirts of Hyderabad itself in Ailabad. Let's go back into why we picked up this solution, or why we created this solution for India. If you look at the health scenario in India, I don't think we need to repeat what's the situation. It's much worse than even sub-Saharan Africa in terms of at least MMR and IMR. I'll not go into the details of these because all of us are aware of it and we don't have time. So what's the issue basically, especially from a rural perspective, even from an urban perspective, that there is an issue in terms of access to healthcare. Villages with no primary health center, regions with no hospitals, even if there are hospitals, there are no equipment. When we went down to many of these primary health centers, we found that very fancy equipment such as X-ray machines and so on are put behind iron collapsible gates with the lock being rusted, the gates being rusted, nobody has a key. We went to another village in Rajasthan called Sora, and we went down and we asked the caretaker, the security person, as to where is the doctor. He says, doctor doesn't come for last 2-3 months, so who's taking care of these patients who are roaming around here? He says, I'm there, why don't you worry? I'm there to take care of them, I give the medicines. Which basically what he does probably is give wide spectrum antibiotics, it works, it'll work for some time and basically create a very devastating effect in the long term on the population. And so where there are equipment, there are no doctors. If there are doctors, there is no support, there is no electricity. Forget about computers, that's far too much to talk about. And there are no connectivity. So essentially, if we look at how government rolls out healthcare infrastructure, the government will decide to set up a sub-center or a PHC or a district health center, which means that a budget will be allocated, which will take about a year because the BE will come out, the RE will come out, and then the budget gets allocated. Then the tendering will happen, either PWD or CPWD or somebody will come and then build it up. And hopefully in 3 to 4 years' time, you will get something out there. And in quite a few cases, there will be nothing but cows grazing on the land and nothing will come up. Given that situation that we are all aware of because of the procedural complexities in the government, the point was that how do we make sure that the moment we have the budgets in place, we can instantaneously roll out something which is tangible, where there is monitoring happening. We know that the refrigerator, if it's down for more than 4 hours, the vaccines cannot be used and an alert goes out to everybody else. How do we know that the doctor is coming and not coming? How do we know which patient is coming in? How do we know the patient disease profile in that area? For example, in Chausala, we figured out that most of the people have got skin rashes and COPD, which is a respiratory disease. Now, typically people will not go around talking about skin disease because that's taboo. You don't go around and say, I've got skin disease. But once they start coming to this center, because of the EMR behind it, we could have the data analytics which showed that the profile is that 32% of the population has got skin disease, another 26% has got breathing problems, COPD. And it turned out that, and then we told the local MP that there's a problem. He went and checked the fertilizers, pesticides, everything. And it turned out that the water, which is a local pond where the buffaloes also go and the people also go, is a source of the skin disease. Then we asked them, why are the women having COPD? Because they don't smoke and it's a very clean environment in the rural area, so why are they having the respiratory diseases? Again, after a lot of research, it turned out that it's because of the cook stove that they use in the closed kitchens that they have, the chulas basically. So basically, we are also getting into preventive healthcare because of these kind of solutions coming in. So we saw that all of this happening, so what is the solution that we can have? And you saw the solution was taking a shipping container which is standardized, nobody has to write the specs to it, have a built-in telemedicine. Again, as Dr. Ramki very clearly pointed out, for the last 15 years, telemedicine has been used. But somehow it's not having the impact, right? We don't see it making any difference. So we went back and we researched for the last 15 years, what has happened? Why is that there is no difference? We saw that the telemedicines are being implemented in bits and pieces, in the sense, sometimes the technology is right, the social engineering is wrong. Sometimes the technology is wrong, sometimes, but the social engineering is right. And the whole mix and match of all of these. Sometimes the right kind of stakeholders are not there. Sometimes there is an issue with the people over there. For example, when we rolled this out, we thought we were rolling it out in a place where there are no doctors. Guess what? There may be no doctors, but there are healthcare providers sitting there. And they are not necessarily medically trained health providers. They are what we normally call as quacks, but they play a very important role. When we and the government has not been able to provide healthcare, they were the people who stepped in and provided healthcare. When you put this kind of a system in place, they get displaced, and they went around saying, if you step into this center, your kidneys will be stolen. That's the kind of resistance and pushback that you get. And that's just one small example of what we went through to get this done. So we made sure that it's not just doctors and patients looking at each other over telemedicine and magically the doctor can find out what's wrong with the patient. We integrated the medical diagnostic equipment with the cloud so that there is no human intervention in between, so that in a place where there are no skills, or very, very low skills, people can still use this equipment. The entire set of medical devices get connected to the health cloud, so that the moment a drop of blood is put into the system, the analysis is done and sent back to the cloud without any human intervention. I'll just move quickly for the sake of time. I think you've got a good idea of what the solution is. There are more details to it. One important part is the dashboard that you see on the left, where real time you can see which patient is coming in, what's the profile, how many people have got skin disorders, eye disorders, flu, and so on and so forth. What's the profile of the gender, is it male, female, their age group, and so on and so forth. All of that you get real time. Every single patient coming in, this gets updated. You can see all these data analytics coming in. So this was what we call the eHealth Center engineering team, because there was social engineering involved, there was obviously technological engineering involved, and there was a mass psychology engineering involved. We went to the temples and we talked about what's going on. We had the village head involved, the sarpanch involved, and it turned out the sarpanch was not the sarpanch, and the day we launched it, it turned out he was a wife of the sarpanch. He was a husband of the sarpanch. The wife was a real sarpanch. So those are complexities that keep coming up, surprises that keep coming up. As of now, which is July of 2013, this was launched in November last year, so in about 8 months, we have treated 15,000 patients in about 3 different centers. So about 12,000 in Chausala, about 2,000-3,000 in Lakhimpur, about 1,000-2,000 in Ailabad, outskirts of Hyderabad. These were all the partners who were involved, and I don't think we would have been able to pull this off without these partners in place. And I would thank all the partners. We're planning to replicate it further, and the government has put in a fund of $10 million, about 50 crores in the 12th five-year plan, to replicate this and take it forward. And as you would have noticed, this project got an award at eIndia last evening. It has also got multiple other awards internationally. These are the people involved, a quick glimpse of all the people who are involved, including CSIR from Government of India. So thank you so much for your patient listening, and there are some links where you can get more details. Thank you.